Well, hi. Hey, everybody. Good morning. We're talking about missing people by the numbers, right? Why are so many people missing, right? Why are so many people missing? I woke up this morning with this on my mind, and I had to ask that question because I want to know, just like you do, why are so many people missing? And the answers vary, depending on where you are, who you are, what you're talking about. Depends on who you talk to. That people tend to have different perspectives on it. So I have my librarian glasses on. Do you like that look? Hey, Mr. Stiffy 69 guy. Grown woman. I like that. Grown man. I like that name. Blondie 98. Hi. Are you really? I'm gonna visit your profile after this. I want to know. That's really how you look. Okay. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see all that happens. As they say, all that matters. We're gonna see it. So if you're asking what's behind me, what you're seeing in one screen, you're seeing a shot of my poster for the Exodus Foundation. Right. That's what we do. We provide services to victims of human sex trafficking, right? And what you're seeing is the poster that we take whenever we go somewhere to speak and people ask what you do. That's what we do, right? And then in another shot behind it, you will see posters of my books. So I think on this camera, you can only see that. So I guess if I turn that a little bit, no, you still can't see it. You can only see this one. But if you were to head over to Facebook, you could see it. So that's what we do. And we're talking about missing people. Don't ignore the clock on the wall. This is a new studio for us, so we're still working it. We're still working it. So we're working it. We're working it, right? We're working it. Hey, Dr. Simpson, how you doing? Tanisha Johnson, hello, how are you? So we're talking about missing people. And it struck me this morning as a conversation that I can never talk about enough. As you know, I spend a lot of my time working with victims of human sex trafficking and a lot of folks who are emerging from violence, right? Violent relationships. We have an epidemic right now in the city of Detroit with women who are turning up, who were declared missing and who are actually turning up dead. It seems there's a serial killer on the loose who has targeted a specific demographic, women who are sex workers or former sex workers, and who that's what they do, right? And they're of a certain age. They're of a specific age group. So age was a factor. It doesn't mean that it's a factor in their missing status, but in this particular scenario, age was a factor. And we identified this early on, but the authorities were a little slow to move into it. I guess they were waiting on more evidence, but we could see that, and we've seen this for years, that abandoned homes in Detroit present an opportunity for people who want to conduct nefarious activities to do so under the radar without any fear of being observed or without any kind of reprisal because it's anonymous, right? Nobody's occupying the house. So they can just do this anonymously, right? And so for a while there, it didn't seem like we were getting anywhere. So finally, they have come to accept that there is a serial killer on the loose in Detroit. Yeah, targeting sex workers. I could see it from early on that that's what it was, right? Because frankly, right? And so now that, but there are still a lot of missing women, right? There's still a lot of missing. The number of missing persons is going to shock you. Right? When I tell you the number of missing persons, it's going to shock you. So if you ever have time, go to FBI.gov and just look. I posted one of the pictures I posted is a poster I found from the National Missing and Exploited Children's Center, where you can see the number of people that they have as missing. So the question I want to ask is, where are all these missing people? Where are they? They're human beings. So they have a body like you and I. They have a name, right? They have a face, they have a physical human presence. And I think it's alarming. I'm just going to be honest and be transparent. Can I just be honest with you? I'm just going to be honest and transparent with you. I thought slavery ended. Seriously. I thought slavery ended. And even though we describe human trafficking as modern slavery, which is what it looks like because they follow the slavery playbook, I think in today's modern parlance, what we're finding is that we're all shocked to discover that there are people who still want to enslave humans. It's still shocking to me that over time, our democracy has evolved, our civilization has evolved, we are progressive in thinking, even for people who are traditionalists, even for people who describe themselves as conservatives, you will still find an element of progressive thought amongst them. Right. And so I think we're finding it, I personally, I'm finding it alarming that there are still people who think that they are better than other human beings. There are still people who will look at another human being and think that physically they're better. I'm not talking about people with obvious disabilities, or, you can say, well, at least I can walk. They can't. I'm not talking about that. People who, I'm not even talking about socioeconomics, that somebody who is a billionaire says, well, that can never happen to me. I'm a billionaire. Be careful what you boast on, because last year someone went boasting on me and now they're in trouble with the people. Okay. They were boasting. Oh, they made $100,000 a month. And I was like, you don't look like you make $100,000 a month. I do know what that looks like. But what I'm saying is, the point I'm making is there are people right now who literally think they're better than other humans, and they're taking human beings. So where are all these missing people going? Right? Where are all these missing people going? Where is there a body farm somewhere? Who is it? One of my favorite authors, Patricia Cornwell. Has anyone ever read her? She writes from a forensic pathologist, perspective, right? You should read her books, Patricia Cornwell, right? And she wrote a book some years ago called The Body Farm. And in it, she talked about a serial killer who people were just turning up missing in one part of the country. Pathologists in 2 different states got together. And so the forensic pathologists had issues with, they connected and realized that people were missing in another state. So based on the description, it seemed like there were 2 people who were snatching people off the streets. So the question I'm asking is, where are all these missing people going? Where are they? Have they just disappeared into thin air? Like whole human beings, like, look at me, I'm a person, right? You're a person. So look at yourself for a second. Look down at your body. You have arms, you have legs, you're breathing, you have a head, eyes. So you're a whole human being. And then you suddenly just disappear off the face of the earth. One day your family haven't heard from you in a while, right? So they can't find you. They can't talk to you. They're like, where did all these missing people go? Somebody's answering me. That becomes sex slaves, sacrificed, and or have their organs removed. I am so glad that you said that. Devin, I am so glad. I wanted someone to respond to me in just that way. A few years ago, it wasn't made such a big deal of, but a few years ago here in Detroit, they found that there were people who were harvesting body parts. I kid you not. They had a whole lab where they were sectioning people off and removing people's organs. This is why I don't believe in an organ registry. I don't believe that you should I'm not telling you what to do, but personally, I do not, and I tell my children, do not put on the back of your driver's license that you're an organ donor. Because if you get it sick, something happens, you get in an accident or something, and you go into the hospital and you are healthy, your organs are healthier than your body could be, they will let you sit there and die just to harvest your organs. In other parts of the world, people sell their organs. They're cutting people out and excavating them and taking their organs. Yes, they are. They're eviscerating people and taking their organs, because organs make the body work. So some people have all the money in the world, but they don't have healthy organs to live, but they can't afford to pay for organs because organs work. That's what makes the body works, right? Your lungs. Think of the major organs, your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, right? Those things are irreplaceable. So where are all these missing people going? Last year, I think a couple of years ago, I did a show on that. I was on another station and did a show on it, and it was alarming. So I wanted to know today, in real time today, how many people are missing in the United States? You ready for this? It's 90,000. That's what is reported, right? Jesus, I don't know what's wrong with Facebook, right? Facebook as usual. So 90,000 people are reported as missing in the United States. But I don't think that that is necessarily true. Do you? I don't think so. I think there are more people because in 2016 there were 64,000 people reported missing. 64,000 Black women reported missing. Are we hearing this? 64,000 Black women are reported missing. Take that as you will. Is something wrong with this number? Yes. Does it mean our system is broken? Yes. Where are these folks going? So I have, like you, I have certain sets of accountability that I employ. I recognize that I'm a human being and I recognize that I have connections, right? So there are people who are dependent on me to know where I am. So we have cell phones. Everybody, your cell phones. Connect. Share your location with someone. If you're taking a rideshare program like Lyft or Uber, make sure that you share that location with someone. Okay, they have it within the app that as soon as you go in the vehicle, you can see where you're located. Use it. As soon as you go in the vehicle, click on it. The vehicle pulls up before you go in the vehicle, click on it so they can track you. Right? Share your location. If you're going somewhere, text someone and tell them where you are going to be. Take pictures and post it to social media. So if you're going into a city that you don't normally visit or somewhere you're not familiar with, selfie all day, every day. Take a selfie, post it to social media so they can see your last location and they can see the buildings around so they have a pretty good idea of where you've been. The police and the law enforcement community have become very sophisticated at solving crime. They're using all kinds of wonderful technological tools. They're not telling the public, obviously, because they don't want the public to know. But trust me, they are using every tool at their disposal. They can ping your cell tower from a cell tower. They can find your location and so on. They're using it because it helps, because the number of people who are missing and the number of situations that are going crazy, we got to stop that, right? We got to do something about it. So 90,000 people are missing. I just want to read this number for you so you get some idea of what we're talking about. According to the Center for National Missing and Unidentified Persons, 90,000 people are missing in the US. This was 2014, so the number has gone up significantly, right? By the numbers, 90,000 people, that's the latest numbers. Those are people who are reported missing. You can always go to the FBI.gov and you can find it broken down by age and gender in 2018. You want to hear some more stuff? It's unbelievable. It's kind of like under 21. Listen to this number. Under 21, there are 211,000 missing males. Under 21, there are 299,000 missing females. 21 and over, there are 98,000 missing males and 62,000 missing females. This according to the website statistica.com. I just thought I'd share that with you because I think it's important that we know the numbers. I like to know the numbers. I like when people know what they're working with and what they're dealing with so that people know what it is that we're confronting, because this is a new scenario, right? Never before have we become so much more aware that people are missing. I mean, it's always happened from the 1970s and the 1980s, but it was like one or two persons, 3 or 4. So it hadn't become the epidemic that it is today, right? I don't know why Facebook is giving me this issue this morning, but they are. So this is why I post the link to youtube.com so everybody can tell. But why is no one else seeing this other Facebook camera over here? Right? So when you look at it, you have to ask yourself, why is it's Facebook? There's nothing wrong with my browser. It's Facebook. It's their app. Because I'm not selling sex, or I'm not selling, Facebook is something else. I'm not selling sex. I'm not selling pills. They are not able to pull your data, right? So they're mad because I'm not doing anything nefarious or doing anything evil. I'm not showing boobs and dropping panty lines or whatever. So they're mad, right? Yes, they are, because that's what they want. They want you to tear your body down and make your body a spectacle so they can make as much money off you as possible. It's all part of the enslavement of the mind that people are not recognizing. I read a story this morning about a young lady who's missing in Detroit. She's a 15-year-old teenager who's pregnant. And apparently her caregiver took her to the hospital yesterday. And when she stepped out of the hospital, the girl ran away, right? Now, she just doesn't run away. That was something that was planned. She couldn't run away before, but she knew she was going to the doctor. So whoever she worked with, they planned it for her to run away. So she's pregnant. She has no idea what she's stepping into. And this is why it's very important for us to negate missing children. We have to have the conversation where we talk to our children. What is wrong with Facebook? What is wrong with Facebook? I'm going to log out of them and log back in. I don't know what they're trying to do, right? And what it seems to be the problem is that we need to talk more with our children. We need to tell them what we expect, right? We need to have a conversation and find out from our children, who are you with? Where are you going? Who do you know, right? And we need to figure that out, because what's happening is that people, nobody seems to know what is going on. And it's amazing to me because what we are finding is people don't know. Our children sometimes are not even aware of the people around them. Ladies and gentlemen, times have changed. Times have changed. Even the people who are in your friends group, you can't trust everyone. I heard a story recently and we're all familiar with stories like this. Young people we know go out with a lot of people, right? Young people we know, they go out to hang out, and they're hanging out somewhere, and then somebody puts something in someone's drink, and they wake up and find themselves sexually assaulted. So they wake up and find themselves raped. They wake up and find themselves in unfamiliar settings and environments. This is happening alarmingly more and more. It's largely unreported. Very few people come forward to report it because they're afraid or they're ashamed. They don't want to get the system involved because then they become part of the system. They become a statistic. But it's happening more and more. Friends, I kid you not, we need to have accountability ourselves. If you have children in college, talk to them. Find out where they are. Make sure they share location settings. One of the things I've told my daughters to do over the years is when you go out, do not let anyone bring you a drink. The same thing is true for young people. It's true for you and I. You're at a party, right? Or you're out. Don't let anybody bring you a drink that they fixed you a drink. Don't drink it. You go to your neighbor's house. Do you know this stuff is happening in neighborhoods? Did you all know that? People are missing from their homes. Did you know that? A party next door and people show up missing because you don't know who folks are, right? So you go to your neighbor's house and they bring you a drink. Don't drink it. Pour your own drink. Or don't drink at all. Just say, no, man, I'm good. I'm real good. People bring you a bottle of water. If the seal is broken, don't drink it. You want something to drink something from a can, like a beer from a can or beer from a bottle or, a Coke or Pepsi or something like that. That's unopened. I kid you not. You're out with friends. Don't turn your back once your food or your drink is in front of you. Don't do that. Be careful of what you're doing because people are watching and people are taking advantage of people. It's no mystery why missing women are more missing than men, because they're using them as slaves. They're taking them and they're using them. So statistically, what I've been told is that they watch you for 30 days to see your routine. We all have routines. We get up at a certain time. We do certain things at a certain time. We do certain things in a certain way. Right? And then in addition to that, what we also do, we do certain things in a different way all the time. And we don't even realize we have a habit. So what happens is they follow you and they get to know your habits. If you're at work and your children get home before you, have some accountability. Put a camera over the front door or the side door or the back door, wherever they enter through. During winter, when it gets darker earlier, make sure that you have lights that come on automatically, right? And make sure that the camera is somewhere where they can see, and have them on the phone with you. I don't care if your boss don't like it. Go in the bathroom when it's time for them to come home and talk to them and make sure they get in. No job is worth losing your children over. Trust me. If that boss is being wicked, well, time out for you. I want to make sure my kids get home safe. You're going to fire me for that? I'm just saying, because that's what is, that's what's happening all over the place. That's what's going on. So many children are showing up missing. So many women are showing up missing. Women go out saying they're going to meet some guy whom they met. So you're going to go out with him, and they never come back. Or they come back and their bodies are broken. And they can't talk about it. Remember the story a few months ago, where a young lady stepped out of a bar and she went into the wrong car thinking it was her rideshare Uber. And in fact, it was someone else. She stepped into a car and the man killed her. Ladies, I know you don't want to hear this. And everybody's like, but I want to have fun. I want to go out and I want to have fun. You want to have fun and drink? Do it so at home. You want to get drunk? Do so at home. Invite some friends over and lay it out. Just go totally wasted at home. Do not do it in a public space anymore. If you go out, socialize. Have a drink or one, but do not get wasted publicly, because you have no control. And people today, do you realize the sex trafficking business is worth more than $32 billion a year? They're taking you, and when they snatch you up, you are not in your own hometown. You're not in your state. Within 24 hours, you are moved from where you are to be taken somewhere else. I noticed that anytime I'm going to talk about subjects like this is when Facebook acts up. Have you guys noticed? Yeah, that's when Facebook acts up. Because they're listening. They don't want people to know this, because the people who sell information don't want you to know what to look out for. They want you to be as unaware as possible, so they have access to your body and your children's bodies and your niece's bodies and your nephew's bodies. And this is happening all over the place, right? So what they're looking for, so nobody wants to be a slave, sex slave, no slave, whatever. But they intend to use you to make money for themselves. And they're going to make you so that you will do what they want. So by the time they pick you up, they put heroin in your body. You're immediately addicted. You don't have any control over your mind. They beat you within a pulp. One girl told us how they beat her for 24 hours straight before she wouldn't give in. So they beat her, and she refused to give in. And they beat her until she gave in. They chained her like a dog in their basement while the wife was upstairs cooking. So women are just as much a part of human trafficking and slavery as men are. The wife was upstairs cooking, saw her husband bring the child in, brought the child in, took the child to the basement of their house. And the wife is cooking. She's in the kitchen cooking. She saw her husband take the child, the 11-year-old girl child, and took the child into their basement, chained her like a dog, and then had a dog chained in the basement to make sure she was so terrified, a pit bull. So she was so terrified she wouldn't leave. Women are as much a part of it. How else does a woman drop her guard? Because she sees some unfriendly looking guy, she's going to be more aware, right? But they use a woman as a decoy. So they use someone whom you relax because it's a woman. She's not going to hurt me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she has a whole boatload of people behind her ready to trade your body. And you're just a money-making machine. We got to remember that each sex slave is worth $200,000 a year to the trafficker. So when you think about it in terms of the numbers, what do you think they're going to do? And there is a market for American girls, apparently. overseas. So they're shipped overseas. So I kid you not, when people are snatched, they're not in their local vicinity. Within 24 hours, they're exported somewhere else. And this is why you have to employ certain things. If you have a home security system, use it. If you have cameras around your house, use it. You have a camera on your cell phone. You're walking down the street, make sure you're talking to someone, right? Because you'd be surprised. If we learned nothing else from the recent scandal, including Larry Nassar at MSU, is that what? Everybody at the top were covering up that scandal because there was money on the line. They didn't care about those girls being exploited. They knew the man was touching girls inappropriately. But as long as they could get more money to fund their programs so that they could earn more and get more incentives, they didn't care what the victims go through. We've been talking about the abortion debate in Alabama. And yesterday, I was so shocked to read that the governor signed into law a law that demands, that says, that requires that men who have sex with people under 13 should be medically castrated as part of their parole. So a month before they're castrated, before they're released back to the public, then they should enter into these treatments, and they don't have an option to opt out of it. It's mandatory. I don't know how I feel about that, right? But what got to me was the representative who brought the bill forward said this. He said, the people whom they're having sex with a person under 13, they have marked that child for life. So should they be marked for life. And when you read that kind of logic, you are like, that is true. People who have sex with children hurt them for life. There is no reason why, none whatsoever, why they shouldn't be marked for life as well. And what you're finding is that more and more every day, as more people show up missing, and the more you become aware of it, and this is what this program is designed to do, is to create awareness in your mind so that you know that these things are happening. The more you become aware of it, is the more we are challenged to do something about it. Is the more we recognize that something has got to change, whether, even if all we can do is ensure our personal safety, especially if you live alone, whether you live in a big city or you live in a rural area and you live alone, or if you live with your family, you live in a rural area or you live around people, is to know your circumstances. Those halcyonic days of us just la, 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 that's over and gone. Today's world is real. And people who are famous and are wealthy have been familiar with this for years. They've been practicing kidnapping strategies. They train their nannies and so on how to recognize signs of a kidnapper, or how to, because people like to take famous people's children, and, people like to be mixed up with famous people because they think, oh, they just have all this money. I can just take somebody from them whom they value and they'll pay up. You'd be surprised how people think. And they still think like that. And then there are other people for whom it's just a business. That person looks healthy. I just want their body part. And for someone else, it's, I can put this girl to work. She can make me $200,000 a year. Get busy. And so we must, when I say must, I mean must. We must find a way to stop this. We must. So it starts with you and I. And how are we going to do this? Well, we start by ensuring our own personal safety. I mean, you can minimize the risks as much as possible. Mitigate any kind of circumstance from happening, right? Minimizing your exposure. Don't go into certain neighborhoods, people trying to get close to you. Read them, profile them. Don't stop when make sure your car doors are locked when you pull up at stop signs and so on. Don't go to gas stations at nights. Don't go shopping at nights. People. Because 10 years ago, that was the bane of my existence. I loved going grocery shopping at nights because the stores were clean. The produce was fresh. They had just packed it out. You know what I mean? And so after 9 o'clock, the rush is down. At 10 o'clock, I'd stroll in and I'd get all the fresh veggies, and the meats were freshly packed out and clean, and, everything nice and clean. And then I became aware that even with the security around, I'm like, I don't feel so safe. I don't know that I want to be driving. So I minimize that. I don't even like driving at nights anymore. you're out and about doing stuff. I don't feel that anymore because I can entertain myself at home. I find that I'm staying in more and more. I find that I'm concerned about being out. Every now and then you go out and you entertain and stuff like that, and you're like, I think I'm not so sure. I kid you not, because you're becoming more and more of how vulnerable we really are without realizing it. Right? So certain things I want us to employ. So certain things I want us to make sure we do. Practice certain safe strategies. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I want you all to do, see this? Use this wisely, right? There are people, our cell phone numbers are no longer private. They're just in a database somewhere. Sometimes they have our names attached to them, right? So people know where you are. So what you do is, on iPhones, I don't know about the other phones, they have a feature called Find Friends. The people who matter to you, make sure you can connect with them and they can connect with you. Send them a request through the Find Friends feature. Let me see if I can pull it up on here. It's right there. See? It says Find Friends, that yellow thing with two little stick man thingy. I don't know what it's like on Android devices. I imagine they have something like that, right? Be careful what apps you download to your phone. Those apps have tracking mechanisms and are tracking your location. So be careful. Be very careful. I tend to stick with the apps that are certifiable, like I have to, the banking apps, those kinds of stuff, right? Some apps, don't just download it for fun. A lot of the games we play on our cell phones have apps that track you. Initially, this was designed for marketing, so they know if you're near a Panera or a Starbucks or something, they could send you a coupon that says $5 off. So you could just go in there and say, wow, I can eat at Starbucks. I can eat a Panera for $5 off. So you go in and spend $70 and get $5 off, $70 when you were just going to go in there and spend $6 anyway. Right? Because you're like, oh, well, it's $5 off, right? So it was initially designed as a marketing feature to track us, but then it became something else. So be careful, right? So that's one thing. You're going to use your cell phone wisely. If you go somewhere, you're traveling for business. How many of you do that? You travel for business. What are some of the safety techniques do you employ? A lot of women show up missing. They don't come back home. What do you do? And a lot of people show up missing from home. Like they're just going to the grocery store and they don't make it to the grocery store. They're going to drop the kids off at school. They don't make it back. If you're traveling for business, make sure that you selfie all day. Take selfies that include your location, post it to a Facebook or whatever social media page you employ. Let somebody else know where you are so they can figure it out, right? If you are just going from home, like, we all are, you just get in your car. I'm just going to the store to get some milk. Stay on the phone with someone so they can hear you, so they can see you, right? You'd be surprised how many people get turn up missing within 2 miles of home, because that's where our guard is dropped. That's where we literally drop the ball on ourselves, because we're like, nothing can happen. I'm safe. I'm at home. Home is just up the street, 2 miles away. I just live around the corner, 5 miles away. I literally live right around the corner. That's what we say to ourselves. And that's where incidents tend to happen the most. So make sure your home is well lit. You live on a corner, make sure there are lights on outside, right? Make sure you'd be surprised how many people do not lock their doors. I am amazed. A friend of mine, I had to talk to him. You go to this dude's house and his front door is unlocked at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, you must be kidding. He said, yeah, well, my girlfriend, she's coming in. I said, you don't do that. I said, don't do that. You don't know who's going to open the door. I said, by the time you realize it, it's too late. I'm like, lock the door. When she gets there, she calls you. You go and unlock the door and open it. You'd be surprised. And some of you are silent. Look at me. You're so silent because you're guilty. Yeah. You don't lock your doors. How many of you lock your doors behind you? No, you don't. How many of you, when you drive, okay, here's one for all of us. When you drive into your garage, do you shut the garage door down immediately, or what do? Do you turn the engine off and realize someone is sneaking, right? So do you shut the garage door down, or you wait until you walk into the house, the door to the house, and then you shut the garage door down? Sometimes, and then sometimes you forget. So your garage door stays open. How many times you're driving in and you see so-and-so with their garage door open? You're all laughing because you know it's true, right? Don't open the door when a salesman is standing outside. You didn't make an appointment. I don't have to talk to you. Talk to them through the intercom. Don't talk to them. Why are you soliciting me? Or better yet, don't answer the door. How about that? A friend of mine likes to keep a dog growling thing, you know. I'm like, get the bark of a gun or something. Right? Don't open the door. Oh, I'm from, how many people do you know say they're from the power company? I'm from the power company and we're in the area doing a survey, or we're in the area to clean up. That is one of the quickest ways to draw someone out. Do not open the door. If the power company is going to come out, guess what they do? They notify you. They either call you, leave a voicemail, or they write a letter. Or if you're connected to their email, what do? They tell you, hello. Some of them, they just did something to the Comcast guy. And, you know, or the AT&T people. Have you ever talked to these folks? Talk to your service personnel and let them tell you some of the stories. They're the ones who see stuff more than anybody else. You go into a house and they won't let you in. The equipment you need to go fix is somewhere in the house. They don't want you to have access there. Or they go in there and they're like, don't worry about this area, but you hear scratching sound back there. Man, are there dogs back there? You know, if you have the pets, can you secure them? Right? You don't have to ask any more questions. You just come right out, call your supervisor and call 911. Tell them I'm in this house and I see something. You walk in a house and there are locks on the doors, padlocks on the doors with grills over them. You know what that is? That's human trafficking. They're locking human beings behind those doors. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. Just do what? Come out and call 911. Your supervisor might forget because his wife just called and yelled at him. Call 911 immediately. Give them location and time. Right? Sometimes you guys are the first responders, servicemen, people who, you know, you go in for a call, you're going to fix a water. Water is leaking somewhere. And you go in and you're like, wait a minute. This is a house. There are 12 people in here. And there are mostly women and one man. Call 911. Something is off. And like I always say, if you feel something, say something. If it doesn't sit right in here, say something. Right? I kid you not. Invariably, most of the times you are right on the money. You go into an environment and it doesn't feel right. Just step back out and say, man, I'm not feeling it today. I see something. Call 911 and tell them. Right? They are snatching people and they're enslaving people for sex. They're snatching women. And it used to be, you know, the girls from 12 to 28. Now they're snatching anybody. Because guess what? They need somebody to clean, someone to do the laundry, someone to cook, right? They need someone to take care of the house, right? Someone to go buy the groceries. So they're snatching older women as well. They're snatching women over 35. They're snatching women over 45. They need someone to keep it in check, right? So be very careful. Make sure you're accountable to people. I can't say it enough. Enjoy your personal safety. My children are imposing limits on me. I think they're going overboard. I don't know if Alexandra is listening. If she is, okay. They're imposing limits on me. Like, Mom, you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't go certain places without us. You need to let us know where you are, right? And they are being smart because I hold them accountable. Who are you going with? Where will you be? Let me know that you are there. I want to know who else is going to be there. One of the things that is proving difficult for us as parents to deal with in this modern era, because you can't control your children, because your children are not yours, and the society owns them and they tell them what to do. One of the things that's proving to be difficult is your children want to go to someone's house. Well, my question is always, who else is going to be there? Who is that person? I don't know them. Who are they connected to? And my daughter is like, Mom, I said, but you don't know who is behind who. Who is connected to who? right? You don't know who is connected to who. Who are they talking to? So you need to know who. I kid you not. And guys, go to the FBI's page. They'll tell you, they have clues, right? And it's a good thing because we need all eyes and ears. People are showing up missing. Right here in Detroit, we have an epidemic. Just this morning, they found another woman's body in another abandoned house over near 7 Mile and John R. or 7 Mile and Ryan or someplace like that. Do you see where I'm coming from? Where is this happening? You really mean to tell me that one homeless man who can't walk, he's homeless. So he's walking all the way from Mac and Connor, all the way from Mount Elliott to 7 Mile and John R. And he's homeless? He's walking. Oh, hell no. Sounds convenient, doesn't it? Yes. So even if you have a family member who is a sex worker, still check in, right? Sex work today varies because a lot of the people who show up as missing and who are trafficked, they don't always stand on the street. Sometimes the John goes to the house, or the John is told. They go through an app and they, make a phone call. People who want to have sex, they go into their phones or in their laptops and they type in, I want to have sex with so-and-so. And then a number of, phone numbers pop up. And so they make a phone call and they are given instructions where to go. It is it's road trip season, right? So it's summer. So everybody will be hitting the roads in a little bit to go visit family and friends afar. Prime season, prime time. While you are out traveling and you pull up at a rest stop, for the love of God in Christ Jesus, people, stop sending your young kids to the bathrooms alone. I cannot begin to tell you how many times I'm terrified sitting in a restaurant and watching a child under 13 walk to a bathroom alone. I am like sitting there like holding my breath. I'm looking at the parents like, I want to kill you for doing stuff like that. Are you nuts or are you nuts? It's road trip season. Pay some attention to your location. Do not drive at nights. Drunk drivers own the highways and the freeways at night. So that's one whole other spectacle. But what about people you just pull out from a restaurant or a rest stop or a drive-through in some remote area and some crazy people decide to have fun? Don't drive at nights on the freeways and through remote towns. I kid you not. Plan your trip, right? Plan your trip in such a way that you leave early enough. You take advantage of daylight hours because we have extended lights now. I mean, it's 9 o'clock before the sun sets, right? So you make sure that you plan your trip. So you take advantage of all the driving hours so you get into a built-up area where you can stay, where there are a whole lot of other people. Watch your children. I know they're hard to control today because the society tells them, and the messaging is that they're grown up from the time they come out of the womb, they're grown. But listen, these are your little tykes. These are your people. Control them. Make sure you tell them, this is what you are going to do. If you don't like it, we're going to get right back home, get in that car and get right back home. So you either comply or not. Because when they go missing, they're going to scream, mommy, they're going to scream for daddy, and you're going to feel the pain. So it's road trip season. Pay some attention. Have your location settings on. Make sure your phones are charged and you have chargers in your phones. For the love of God, men, I know you all don't like when we women say it because you think you know, and it's against your ego and you feel compromised. But if your woman tells you don't take that route, for the love of God in Christ Jesus, do not do it. Come on. You take a route that is 20 miles way off course. And I got this. Or you don't check the oil before we left. Like, really? Did you check the tire pressure? Oh, man, I got that. I can always do that because, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You didn't check the brakes? Do we have power steering fluid? Did you take the car in? Did you check it? What do you mean if I checked it? Because you're so men today are so sensitive. Everything is about your ego and your manhood. We are all in this together. We're trying to ensure safety and get the children involved as well. As soon as they drive out, they want to stop. Use the bathroom. We're not stopping for 2 more hours. Yes, control settings because they are snatching children up from rest stops. They're snatching women in the bathroom. You go to a rest stop, go as a group. Don't send your child or your teenager in alone. Go in there with them. In there with them. You are the father, you stand outside. Because you know how children are. They go in there and they pop their phone out and they're fluffing their hair and they're just like oblivious to the environment. I kid you not. It drives me. You can tell, right? I'm like, be aware. And you're probably saying, how does your daughter feel? You should hear them talk. Because I thought, I was like, but then when they talk, I listen to how they talk. You should hear my children. They're like, that is so unaware. Are people watching this stuff? And I'm like, oh, thank God they're getting the message. Right? Be aware. And can I just help you? You'd be surprised that some of the people you know are involved in the trafficking of persons. You'd be surprised. You would be. I'm not saying you should, go suspect everybody, but you don't know. You live next door to people and you see people come in and go out of that house all the time. Well, what the heck is going on over there? Why are they so busy? Are they always having a party? They're probably just party goers. They're just like it's a party all the time. Is it? Ask questions of people. You don't see a coworker show up at work. Text, hey girl, or send them an email. Hey girl, what's up? Check in with people. Too many missing persons. Where are all these folks going? Right? Where are all these folks going? Dr. Simpson, I don't know what happened, y'all. I apologize. Thank you for coming back. Facebook was just acting crazy, right? But what I do is I open 2 Facebook feeds. So you might have seen the other one or you might not have, because I open 2 Facebook feeds. And Facebook is the only platform that I have to do this on. Twitter is fairly reliable. And YouTube, steady. Just you're on YouTube, it just stays steady. That's why I always encourage folks to go over to YouTube, because I never know when Facebook is going to act out. You know what I mean? But this is information that I want you to share with yourself. Have people check in, right? Have them check in with you. I do location settings. My children freak me out because they do it with me all the time. But do location settings. Find out where folks are. Track them. If they're using the rideshare Lyft and Uber and so on, as soon as the vehicle pulls up, start tracking it. Share it with someone so they know where you are going to be, so they can find it. Recently, my youngest daughter had to use it to come from school, and I pulled up the app, and she apparently what she did was she notified me that she was leaving when she hadn't left yet. So after 10 minutes, I'm like, well, it doesn't take that long to get home. So when I went in the app, I saw where the driver was turning around. I was like, call her, text her, find out if she's okay. Because I don't know. Believe me, I was ready. Dr. Simpson, I was ready. You know what I mean by that. You're nodding your head. I was ready. You know what I'm talking about. I was ready, right? Because you just don't know. Because some of these folks, they use these rideshare things and they're the ones giving information to the traffickers. Yeah, I just left that house. Man, there are a bunch of girls living over there. Yeah, there's some nice girls living over there. And stuff happens. And then girls are so laissez-faire that they're like, hey, ladies, I can't tell you enough. Some of us, we don't do this anymore, but our daughters do. Our nieces do. Our friends do. You go out in a group and you get wasted. And my daughter said this to me the other day. She said, well, young people today don't drive. They take a rideshare program because nobody wants to be the designated driver and everybody wants to go out and get wasted. And I was like, get wasted at home. Mom, that's not fun. I'm like, get wasted at home. Because you don't know. You go out today to drink and you're sitting there and you're just having fun with your drink. And, you're just having fun. And some idiots is sitting over there looking at you as a possible. So they come over and start talking and you get distracted and they slip something in your drink. That happened to someone I know. How do you think I felt when I learned that? She was with a trusted group of people whom she thought she trusted, y'all. And she had a drink and don't remember what happened. She woke up in a car, found herself in a whole other city, in a whole other place. Raped. Can you dig it? She never thought it could happen to her, but it did. I was numbed. That's how insidious it is. It can happen. Well, I was just like, well, at least we found her. It could have gone the other way. So what precautions do we take? We have to talk to our young people. And I know young people today are different. I'm wondering if that's how we were. My mom is dead now, so I can't ask her. Well, was I like that when I was young? Like just totally rebellious. You try talking to a young person today to try to, we say talking sense into them, right? We're trying to tell them be careful. And they're just so objectionable. They know it all. They're such know-it-alls. They know everything. And I'm like, was I like that? Were we like that? My generation? Right? I don't think so. I don't think we gave our parents half the headache these young people do today. They don't want to hear anything. They think they know it all. They're this, they're that, and they know everything. And then they show up missing, or they show up sexually assaulted. And so many people are sexually assaulted by someone they know because they drop your guard. I'm out with my friends. I'm out with a trusted group of people. Mom, don't bother me. Dad, don't call me or show up on me. You're messing up my fun. And then you get the phone call. They're at the hospital. And you can't do anything. You can't react as the parent would, right? Because it's not legal, right? Dear God, look at me. Dear God, for the love of God, help us all. Say help. I know some of you men are touching your strap-ons right now. Like, yep, I got you, Harriet. I got this. And I don't blame you because they're out there today. You would be surprised. Some of these places, ladies, do not go and buy gas at night. I don't care if it's Costco. Don't do it. Don't buy gas at night. I have minimized how late I am out at night. I've been doing this for about 10, 12 years. I've noticed that I stem it off. I don't like being out past 10 o'clock. It's really iffy. If I'm coming from somewhere, it's a different thing. But, this thing we used to do, don't. Even in your neighborhood, in your subdivision, right? Make sure you have cameras because you don't know what's going on next door. It may not be them who is involved. It may be someone they know or owe money to. Hello. People do some crazy things online now. People do crazy, crazy stuff, right? Be careful when you are traveling this year. You're going overseas. You're going out of the country. Hello, American people. Are you listening to me? Be careful. Travel in a group. Don't get off the beaten path. Say it. Do not get off the beaten path. Say it one more time. Do not get off the beaten path. If you are traveling out of the country, do not get off the beaten path. It's not fun. Don't do it. Stay with the organized group activity. If everybody is in the group going this way, everybody in the group is going this way. Don't break away. Stay in places that are well recognized, that have Google settings, that people can find you anywhere. Do not get off the beaten path. Too many people do not come back from that. Or they come back broken, with either broken limbs or broken bodies. It's traveling season. Okay? You want to go explore the world? Of course. Do it safely. You can't travel with weapons because, you have to go through international customs and so on. But you have a cell phone. Sometimes cell phone signals don't work in certain places. Me personally, I ain't going nowhere where no cell phone signal doesn't work. It's not happening with me. No way, Jose. Right? See what I'm saying? You're all laughing at me. Like Harriet is paranoid. There are over 200,000 missing people in the United States. There are over 200,000 missing people under 21 in the United States. That is something that is of concern. Let me read it to you one more time, because maybe you think that this is something that we're just making up or something. According to the website Statistica.com, in the United States, as of 2019, There are over 211,000 missing males in the United States. There are over 239,000 missing females under 21 in the United States. Hello. There it is. 21 and over. There are over 96,000 missing males in the United States over 21. And that's just what's reported. Because, some of us, Pookie and them, don't even report that they haven't seen Boogie in a while. Right, Dr. Simpson? You know that. Pookie and them, they don't even report they haven't seen Boogie in a while. Oh, he'll show up later. And Boogie will show up. And Boogie never shows up. And when you see these on the news, take it seriously. It is serious. Take it seriously. When you see something, say something. Call 911. Speak up. Speak up and say something. Call Crime Stoppers or just dial 911. They're making it now so that you can text. You just go in your text and you text 23738. And you can just say, I see so-and-so. They just get it as a text message. Text them and tell them they're listening. My God, they need our help. We all need to help one another. Look out for one another. You see something and it doesn't feel right, you can say, are you okay? And then you can walk away and call 911. You don't have to say, hey, I'm going to be superhero today. Be the superhero of 911. Report something, see something, say something. There are too many missing people. People are being snatched and their body parts are being farmed out because we're disposable. It's like the sum of us is worth more than the whole. So they want your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your eyes, your fingers, your legs. Y'all are losing stuff. Right? And if anybody still wears a gold tooth today, you're a sitting duck. You're all laughing at me, right? Anybody's still smiling, and when they open their mouths, you see a gold tooth in there. That is the most hilarious thing. I haven't seen that in a while. But if you do encounter someone who does that, know that they're sitting ducks. And of course, what about the folks with mental illness? There are people who are mentally unwell, who something happens at home, because for folks who are mentally unwell, especially people who suffer from schizophrenia and bipolarisms, they don't process conflict real well, right? So sometimes what they deem is conflict is really not. So they tend to just react to stuff. Well, I don't know that and they just take off and they just say, I'm just leaving town. I'm just leaving home. I don't like it here. They are sitting ducks, and you're crying because you're like, they're adult. I can't really control them. They become violent and you don't have any resources. They have shut down the mental health facilities because of budget cuts. Politicians love to cut the budgets on things, on social programs that matter, and leave people bereft. What do you do? And you're looking at me. I feel your pain. What do you do with a family member who is bipolar? He's your son or your brother, and you know that he's mentally unwell, but you love him because you recognize that he's a danger to himself than he is to you, even though he's coming at you with a knife or a gun. And what do you do? And you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm so overwhelmed. And you can't take him. There's no treatment facility. So the police show up and they take him for a day or two. They take him down to the jail to calm him down, but he has to come out of jail. Then they either take him to the hospital, and the hospital is like, well, we can give him medication that sedates him, calm him down for a while. He needs his meds. And sometimes people don't want to take their meds, y'all. You know that? Have you guys, you're all nodding at me. Can we just talk about that? Hey, we're going to talk about mental health someday. We need to talk about that. People don't want to take their meds, and the meds help. It calms them. They're like, I don't want to take it because it makes me feel like a robot. Well, that's what we want. We don't want you to feel like yourself. So what do you do when you have issues with family members who don't listen because they're acting out because they have issues? I know. And it costs you more emotionally. And you're like, man, I didn't sign up for this. Some of you are left taking care of elderly parents who are bipolar and who have schizophrenia. And they have nowhere else to go. And it's your turn. Some of you have siblings, younger or older, or it's a child. That's been happening. And it's you, right? You can't cage them up and lock them up in a room, right? But at the same time, the real danger with them being out is what? They will show up missing, right? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get the facts. Go to the FBI.com, FBI.gov. Look it up, right? Look up exploited and missing persons. Get the facts and employ some personal safety for yourself as well as for your family. Ask your children who don't live at home anymore where they are so that everyone is accountable, right? Ask your children and your grandchildren, make sure that everybody, if they have cell phones, are we in touch, right? Keep connected. Email someone, text someone, or call someone. Hey, bro, how's it going? Hey, baby, how is it? Right? Keep connected so you can stay in touch. So when people feel connected, if something is going wrong, they're less likely to talk to strangers. You know that, right? Because they have someone else they can talk to. And even in situations sometimes where families working, what we're still finding even in trafficking is that sometimes people are just rebellious, especially young people. They're just simply rebellious. They don't want conformity. They don't want to hear what mom and dad have to say. Mom and dad say, go up to your room. Go up to your room. Do your homework. Don't hang out with those friends. They don't want to hear that. So you know what I'm going to say next. Turn off some of those shows. Watch the shows that your children are watching. Watch them. See what they're thinking, what they're watching that is influencing them. Listen to the conversations they're having with their friends. Invite the friends over. You want to get to know them too. Right? So you hear your grown children talking about so-and-so. Yeah, get involved in the conversation. And you want to hear what they're saying about so-and-so. You want to know who is around your children because they have access to your family. Protect yourselves. You all think you're broke and poor. You know that. You don't value what you have. Do you realize that you have something that other people want? Protect that there. Who is that? They're coming into my house. Okay. All right. Yeah, sure. Check them out. What's your name? Yeah. So you have a cell phone and Google. And bring up the conversation with your children. Like ask them questions. Like, did you know that friend you have, Tom Brown? He spent some time away. Yeah, but it wasn't from nothing much, Dad. It was just a little thing that just had a little marijuana. Really, that's the kind of people you want to hang around with? I sent you to college for that? You're so judgmental. That's the thing with your generation. You're so judgmental, yeah? And when you get pulled over and he has marijuana and drop it in your car, I'm going to be judgmental then? Yeah. Right? I've said enough. I'm done. I gotta go. If this message has been a blessing to you, go to my website, harrietkemmick.com, as well as go to the exodusfoundation.com. Help us to help others. That's what we do, folks. See? There you have it. See the posters. You're looking at it. The Exodus Foundation, that's what we do, right? There's the shelter. Don't go looking where it is, right? And of course, buy my books on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. You can always just look me up on the web and it will show you that I'm an author and it will show you where my books are. My books are available wherever books are sold anywhere in the world. I've found that they're translated in other languages. Go read them, right? So stay tuned to us. We're going to talk some more. At some point, we're going to talk about mental health. And I want you to share your stories. I'm not saying you are or I am. I am just saying for those of us who have to take care of our mentally unwell folks. Dr. Simpson, 5 kids and 9 grand. I demand a head count twice a day. That's what I'm talking about. Check in. Let them know, Doc, that you're checking in. And guess what? They're never going to forget that. They'll be like, oh, dad is calling. Oh, granddad is calling. Let me check in. FaceTime people. When your kids are out, they're walking down the street, tell them to FaceTime you. I think on other devices, it's called video call. Yeah. You're driving into a place they don't know, FaceTime and video call. Come on. Use modern technology as a tool to defer stuff. So you're walking across the street, some dude trying to talk to you, pull out your FaceTime and start talking to people. And here's another thing. If you feel unsure about someone, keep eye contact. It helps because when you maintain eye contact, the person cannot confront you. They feel afraid because now they know that you've seen them, right? So keep eye contact. Do not be afraid. Don't look away. Keep eye contact. Like I see you. Like I see you. I see you. You're looking at me. Eye contact. I see you. I see you. Right? Thank you. I love you all. Thank you so much. I feel blessed to be here with you guys. Thank you for being a part of my experience, and thank you for supporting me. Every time you watch, you're supporting me. And if you find that this message has been something that has blessed you tremendously or has added some perspective, can I ask you that you share this with others? Share it on your social media platforms. Tell others that you're watching the Harriet Kimmick Show, and there's some good information about how to maintain your safety, right? Make sure you share it with everyone. Make it be a blessing to someone else as much as it has been a blessing to you. Thank you so much, everybody. Now go out and live. It's Wednesday. Wow, Wednesday. Here in the Midwest, we have a limited number of days for summer. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to drink a smoothie today. Maybe not, because maybe they have stuff in it. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. Thank you so much. Be blessed, everybody. Be blessed. Bye for now. Bye for now. See you tomorrow, right? See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Be blessed, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can't tell you thank you enough, right? Be blessed. Be blessed. Thanks so much. I enjoy this. I enjoy this. I enjoy this. I enjoy this. I enjoy this.